Alright guys, welcome back to an episode of the Patreon Sim Only Dynasty. We're in week 10 and we are 5-2. Looks like we just won. Let's see how everybody else did as well. Charlotte ends up getting the win over FAU 24-13. Had a pretty good second quarter and that helped seal the deal and get them in the lead and hold on to the lead and get the win. Checking out the team stats, it just beat them. 7 more first downs, 397 yards total offense, 51 rush attempts for 276 yards. Didn't throw the ball a whole lot, but didn't have to. 10 for 21, 121 yards, 6 for 13 on third down, 100% on fourth down though. But he was only 60% in the red zone. I mean, 3 for 5 is not bad, but it's not 3 for 4, you know what I mean? And the 4 turnovers. He had 4 turnovers and still won that game. Checking out Rice, he ends up winning 28-21. He's my we're even, man. We're both 5-2 right now. I think 2-1 in conference. I might be 3-1, but we're right there even with each other. UTEP started out strong, man. They were at 14-6, and then Rice just exploded, man. Got a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion, and then UTEP scored again to go up. What was it, 21-14, 21-14, and then Rice just bam bam. Looking at the stats, 27 first downs, 406 yards total offense, 48 attempts for 178. It wasn't able to shut them down running the ball. 29 for 223, but he held his own, man. He stayed in it, never gave up. Ends up getting a win. 18 for 34, 228 yards passing, 8 for 18 on third down, 100% on fourth down, 100% on 2-point conversion, and 3 for 4 in the red zone. He also had 3 turnovers, man. People turning the ball over like crazy. ECU ends up dropping to a ranked Houston team. I think at the time they were 19, and now they're number 12. Only lost by, what was that, 7? Yeah, that was a heck of a game, man. A huge second quarter by Houston helped put them in the lead. They were up 21-10 at the half. Couldn't quite pull it out for ECU there. Looking at the stats, 17 first downs, 365 yards of offense, 23 attempts for 91 yards. They shut down the running game completely. ECU unable to run the ball at all. Didn't even get 100 yards on the day. 20 for 50, as less than 50% passing. That hurt as well. Plus the 6 for 17 on third down. You got to be more than 50%, man. It's got to be. It has to be. And being under that hurt because he's forced him to go forward on fourth down quite a bit. Wyoming ends up pulling out the win over San Jose State. Scores 14 in the fourth for the victory. Checking out the team stats, Wyoming 23 first downs, 364 yards total offense. This game was really even. I mean, one more first down, 8, 7, 6 more yards of offense. 42 attempts for 174 compared to that 39 for 160. 17 for 26 compared to their 17 for 32. Only 8 yards passing difference. Both horrible on third down. Wow. 4 for 11, 4 for 12. San Jose State missed opportunities on fourth down. And red zone. Just a couple of turnovers. It was a pretty even game. A lot of back and forth, it looks like. And speaking of nobody really dominated, we get the win. But it's a low scoring affair. 14-9. Luckily, they couldn't get into the end zone. The defense held strong in the red zone, forcing them to take a couple of field goals, which is perfect because if they had scored a touchdown, we would have lost. Taking a look at the team stats, wow, we 100% shut them down. 440 yards of offense to their 177. We ran the ball 22 times for 88 yards. They ran at 31 for 50. We were 28 for 51, 352 yards passing. They were not. We were exactly 50% on third down. I would love better, but hey, 50% gets the job done. 0 for 2 on fourth down, not great. And then 2 turnovers in the red zone, not great. So taking a look at the championship contenders for those that are interested, this is the top 10: UCLA, Tennessee, Michigan, Oklahoma, Florida, Alabama, Florida State, Ole Miss, Stanford, and Texas. For the users, I'm coming in at 69. Yeah, girl. Rice at 75. Charlotte at 90. Wyoming at 97. And ECU at 107. Taking a look at the injury report, I still don't have any injuries. It looks like Charlotte's the same as it was last week. Defensive tackle, left guard. ECU loses. No, Bronson was already hurt, I'm fairly positive. Tight end for the season. Middle linebacker, 1 more week. Right end and wide receiver, 2 weeks and 3 weeks left. Rice, with a right tackle, right outside linebacker, probable to play. The other right tackle, questionable. The left guard, still 2 more weeks out. So I would assume none of these people played this week because that's just the way they are. And then Wyoming has their center, halfback, and quarterback still out. Quarterback, maybe, or probably, but you never know. I want to take a look at the job security for all the coaches. Looks like everybody's good. Henry Jenkins for Bowling Green. Pablo Sanchez for Wyoming. Dustin Hunter for Charlotte. Wyatt Earp for ECU. That's nice. And Peter Parker for Rice. Everybody's 100% secure as of right now. For the games this week, I have Ball State. We'll look at that here in just a second. Wyoming and FCS Northwest. Now, I told him, you got to watch out for this team. This is like the North Dakota State of FCS teams. They came out and beat me. So, no pushover. Charlotte and Louisiana Tech, ECU, and number 24 ranked Temple. That's back-to-back weeks with ranked opponents, dude. And then Rice, North Texas. Taking a look at the recruiting board, we're scheduling some visits, starting to get people to commit even more if I can. I'm just trying to get them to jump and not lock me out like this stupid guy does. I've lost 1,400 points on this dude, and if I lose this dude, I'm gonna be upset because there's no reason why I should have lost those points. I just don't have the points to put on this fullback or this wide receiver. Maybe I can sneak out and get him, but it's gonna be iffy. I added a couple more dudes to the list just in case, and then I have my normal kind of completions. I did get Coleman to commit, which is nice. I'm happy about that. So that's a recent addition. I don't know if that was included last time or not, but it is very nice. And we just have the one ready for a visit, and I'm pretty sure it's already scheduled. Oh, it is not. Let's go ahead and schedule. All right, so let's do it. Let's do it late in the season. Let's do like a week 10. Let's do it this week. Why not? Visit schedule. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Who's coming week 10? That receiver. Oh, everybody else is already committed. Never mind. Everybody else already wants to come play for us. But we have Ball State this week. Once again, Kirk's picking us to come out on top. They have a pretty even offense. Rush and pass pretty even. So we went in and adjusted that back down to 50%. And they're really good against the pass, which is not good because we are really good on the offensive side throwing the ball. We're number 2 in the nation. All right, let's get in with the advance. Looks like we lost, man. Also, we gained a couple more people. Kakapupu joined his army. Mr. Paratrooper as Yukon. So we're up to 7 people now. That's what I'm talking about. Let's check out everybody's games last week and see how we did. Charlotte ends up losing 23-24. A heck of a game, man. Just couldn't quite make it. Defense didn't held strong until the fourth quarter and then blew it. Looking at the game stats, yeah, Charlotte dominated this game. More than double the first downs, 117 more yards, 42 rushes for 183 yards, 15 for 35 for 256, 8 for 15 on third down. They should have won this game. Couldn't stop them on fourth down, and they scored every time they were in the red zone, whereas Charlotte could not. Plus the 4 interceptions cost them this game. Wyoming ends up knocking off the FCS Northwest team that beat me in overtime. It took him scoring 24 points in the second half to get the win. He was down 17-3 at the half, man. I'm telling you, this FCS team was legit. They had to have been the North Dakota State for sure. Wyoming had the first downs, whereas the FCS team had the total offense. They both ran the ball pretty good. 42 for 225 threw the ball, 19 for 38 for 157. Didn't throw the ball good, but enough to get the win. Converted quite a bit on third down, 12 for 20. That's what you need to do. Keep your offense on the field and keep points coming, man. ECU had a ranked Temple team, back-to-back ranked opponents, end up losing 23-13. They got 10 in the second half, though. That's a positive. You gotta look at anything you can as a positive. They were pretty even. He produced yards-wise, just not very good on third down. 334 is total offense, 30 rushes for 60 yards. He's running the ball a ton and not getting any production out of it. I mean, they ran for 32 and got almost double the yards, so you just gotta go with your strength, man. 22 for 20 for 39, 272 yards. I mean, they threw almost the exact same, and Temple had more passing yards. Maybe it was just a caliber team type situation. Defense held strong though, forcing Temple for 2 for 14 on third down. Offense did okay, 5 for 16. That needs to be over 50% to stand a chance, and it wasn't today. Rice ends up beating North Texas 35-28. Pretty solid first half from both teams, and defense held strong in the fourth quarter. Third quarter was enough for Rice to take the win. Sterling throwing the ball really well, and Rice with a pick 6 with negative time on the clock. What? What? I guess we're gonna say the end of the quarter. They got a pick 6 because that looks really weird. Checking out the stats, North Texas dominated. Oh my gosh, dude. 508 yards of offense compared to Rice's 334. 33 attempts for 138. 11 for 21, 2 touchdowns for 206 yards. Or North Texas, 44 attempts for 211. Threw the ball 45 times for almost 300 yards. Rice going 6 for 12 on third down. It's what you need, at least 50% to stand a chance. He missed out in the red zone one time, but he got the win regardless. Forcing the 2 turnovers probably helped this. And then last but not least, we ended up going down. We were down 17-3 at the half, and were never able to recover even after 14 points in the fourth. Just couldn't quite pull it off, and we let them score a last-second touchdown. Are you kidding me? We were ahead, and we let them score with 15 seconds left. Checking out the team stats, and Ball State just dominated the heck out of me. I went more 50-50, and I should have got more run. They ran 47 times, 238 yards, and 3 touchdowns. We ran at 30 times for 88. We didn't run the ball well. We didn't throw the ball well. 14 for 24, 173. We were straight garbage on third down. 3 for 11. Golly, at least we were both even there. Just not very good. The deciding factor was for sure the running game. Taking a look at the games around the country this week, we play Miami University, Wyoming, and Fresno State. Army's got Northwestern, wow, UConn and Tulsa, Charlotte, Western Kentucky, ECU and Cincinnati, and Rice, Florida International. Checking out our game against Miami University, they are 1-7 overall, 1-4 in conference. We are 5-3, and Kirk picks us to win. They are a even team yet again. Last time not so much, but they fare really well against the pass. So that's a huge issue for us because we throw the ball really well, but they're almost last in points per game, total offense, and rush offense, and they don't fare good against the rush defense. So we're gonna leave our thing how we are, about even. Hopefully we don't lose to a 1-7 Miami University team, because I'm gonna be pissed. All right, we're back into week 12. We won. I think ECU ends up dropping to Cincinnati 38-24, giving up. They allowed 14 points in the fourth quarter to lose this one. It was tied. It was tied in the fourth quarter. He tied it early, and then Cincinnati scored 2 more times to get the win. So Cincinnati just had a great game, man. Able to convert on third down quite often. Stay on the field with 23 first downs, 408 total yards. ECU 20 rush attempts for 35 yards and 19 for 41 for 300. Threw the ball a lot more this game, probably down early and often, but unable to get the win. I mean, the 20 attempts for 35 yards is not good, especially compared to the 45 for 207. 6 for 15 on third down, not great. You want that over 50% for dang sure. 1 for 2 on fourth down, and only 3 for 5 in the red zone. And I'm going to assume, since you had 2 turnovers, that those 2 missed opportunities in the red zone were turnovers, and turnovers definitely hurt. Army ends up losing to Northwestern 24-10, down early in this game, 17-7, and just never able to recover. I mean, they scored real quick. Bam, bam, bam. Wait, what? I'm confused. It says in the first quarter Northwestern has 10, but this only shows 7. And then they scored 21. I'm thoroughly confused by this because that looks like 7-7-7, so 21 for Northwestern, and Army has 7, 14, 21, 35. That score doesn't indicate anything close to what this does. That looks like a 35-21 Army victory. I'm super confused. Looking at the stats, they had the numbers to back it up. 4 touchdowns compared to their 3. So what in the world happened, dude? What happened to this game? Why is the stats jacked? Army, yeah, it says 35-21 Army. I've never seen that before. Army, 258 yards of offense, 50 rushes for 206 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 for 13, 52 yards. Didn't throw the ball well. Army's not known for throwing the ball, though. 7 for 15 on third down, not great. To 100% on fourth down and 80% in the red zone. No turnovers. Army had a good game. I just don't know if they lost or not, because this says they won and this says they lost. Take a look at Wyoming. Ends up getting the win over Fresno State. Had 3 points in the third, which was the deciding factor in this game, as long as this is accurate. Yeah, this looks accurate now. I don't know what was done with Army. That was just weird, man. But it looks like a pretty good game, back and forth. Nobody really dominated. Pretty even game. Wyoming 23 first downs, 414 total offense, 37 rushes for 132 yards, 20 for 36, 282, 8 for 16 on third downs. They were both 8 for 16, and 1 for 1 on fourth down, and 100% in the red zone. We end up coming out on top 38-10. We were down at 1 point in this game. 1 point. They scored first, and then we scored 38 unanswered before they finally scored again almost the end of the fourth quarter. So we had a pretty dominating performance. Checking out the stats, only 18 first downs with 438 yards of offense, 32 attempts for 117, 22 for 37 for 322 yards, and 4 touchdowns. We threw the ball extremely well. Third down, not so much. 3 for 12. That's straight garbage, dude. That's horrible. And only 2 for 4 in the red zone. Once again, straight garbage, dude. That's horrible. But defense forced a couple of turnovers. Rice continues to roll over the top of opponents, going up ahead 42 to 13 or 30. I was reading the fourth quarter. They just like a flip of what their first half was, 7-14 to 14-7. Taking a look at the stats, they looked fairly even first down wise, but Rice 510 yards of offense compared to FIU's 295. Rice 49 attempts, 322 yards, 4 touchdowns, 16 for 24, 2 touchdowns, and 188 yards. 10 for 13 on third down, great percentage. And missed out on 1 opportunity in the red zone. No turnovers, played extremely good football this week. Charlotte ends up not getting blanked, dropping in big fashion to Western Kentucky 41-3. They were just on fire, dude. Man, it took Charlotte into the third quarter to score down 20-3, and then they just went off in the fourth quarter, scoring another 21 points. Looking at the stats, yeah, they just didn't play good. Only 10 first downs, only 173 yards of offense. I mean, Western Kentucky had that running the ball. Charlotte 31 for 84, 6 for 19, and 89 yards. 4 for 14 on third down. That is not good. But 100% in the red zone, that's a highlight. You got to look at that as a positive. And then that's about it. That's about all you get for this game, man. 8 penalties. And then UConn ends up dropping in dramatic fashion. 31-3. Didn't score until garbage time in the fourth quarter. Already down 31 points. So it was not a good game for UConn either, man. Checking out the team stats. 10 first downs. Only 136 yards of offense. 25 attempts for 106 yards. And 5 for 25 for 30. Completed every 1 in 5 passes. That's not good. And the ones he did, he averaged 6 yards a catch. That's not good. 4 for 14 on third down. 100% in the red zone though. Defense held them to 80% in the red zone. Defense did pretty good until fourth down in the red zone. Taking a look at the upcoming games, we have Ohio, Wyoming, and Boise State. Army and number 11 LSU, UConn and number 21 SMU, Charlotte, Mid-Tennessee State, East Carolina, and University of South Florida, and Rice, Louisiana Tech. We have quite a bit of people visiting this week. Like I said, I'm not going to show the recruiting every part just because it takes too long and it's pretty much the same old. We did get a wide receiver. He finally committed, and a corner committed to Rice. That's about it. We're just climbing up the board on everybody else, but we're ready to advance it into week 13. All right, just get done with the advance, and it looks like we ended up losing to Ohio. Let's see how everybody else did. Charlotte ends up beating the pants off Mid-Tennessee State. My goodness, 45-21, scoring 28 points in the third quarter. Returned a fumble for 16 yards and 3 touchdowns. Looking at the team stats, they were pretty even. Other than that, 18 first downs, 359 total offense, 48 rushes for 152, 14 for 20 for 207, and 4 touchdowns. 6 for 13 on third down, pretty good. 100% in the red zone, only 1 turnover. ECU gets back in the win column with a dominating win, 51-35 with a 27-point second quarter. That was like right there. Not a bad game. Another return fumble. Dang. Looking at the stats, ECU 18 first downs, 430 total offense, 27 attempts for 80 yards. He's throwing the ball a lot better. 22 for 39, 3 touchdowns, and 350 yards. Running the ball still not so much. He got 2 touchdowns off of it, but he's just not getting a lot of yards. Third down, 4 for 11, not great. You got the win, doesn't matter. 100% in the red zone with 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals. Only turned the ball over once today. Army ends up dropping another one, this time to a ranked LSU team, so that's that's okay. They allowed 14 in the second. Florida had a couple big runs, but nothing really could do against a powerhouse SEC team. Looking at the stats, yeah, LSU dominated this game with almost 200 yards more of total offense. Army, 14 first downs, 209 yards, 55 rush attempts for 173, 5 for 17, throwing the ball for 36 yards, 10 for 22 on third down. Not great. I mean, it's almost 50%, but not great. And 100% in the red zone. Didn't turn the ball over, but couldn't capitalize on the turnovers that the defense got for him. Wyoming pushing for conference championship, wins 26-10 over Boise State. A pretty good third quarter, helped out quite a bit, doubled his score the rest of the game. A couple of field goals and touchdowns. Looking at the stats, and it was all Wyoming. 26 first downs, 357 yards of total offense, 53 rush attempts for 200 yards, 13 for 28 for 157, 8 for 18 on third down. Almost 50%, not quite there, but 100% on fourth down, and 5 for 6 in the red zone with no turnovers. Definitely helped propel them for the victory to date. Rice is the lone team out in front for the users. He is 8-2 with another victory, 35-21 over Louisiana Tech. Scored every quarter, just would not be denied, including twice in the fourth quarter. Looking at the stats, 21 first downs, 411 total offense, 47 rush attempts for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a ton of twos. 16 for 30 for 189 yards and 3 touchdowns. 7 for 15 on third down, 100% on fourth down, 100% in the red zone, and no turnovers. Rice is the team to beat right now, that's for dang sure. Connecticut ends up dropping to a ranked SMU team. SMU's been a surprise this season. They've been ranked almost all year long, even after 2 losses. They came out strong and they never looked back. Looking at the stats, it was a pretty even game. As even as it was. Oh, the four interceptions. We'll get to that in a second. 20 first downs, 348 yards total offense, 28 rushes for 148 yards, 17 for 42 for 200 yards, 5 for 14 on third down. Not great. And want that closer to what they had, which was 7 for 14. Scoring 2 out of 3 times in the red zone, and both of those being field goals absolutely hurts, but not as much as the 4 interceptions. We end up losing to Ohio 24-21, giving up 14 points in the fourth quarter to lose. Looking at the team stats, we just got our butt kicked. Holy crap. Ohio ran all over us. Sheesh. We had 12 first downs, 304 yards total offense, 15 attempts for 88 yards, 14 for 31, 216 yards, 4 for 10 on third down, not good, and 2 for 3 on third down, not good, plus the 2 turnovers. The fumbles, I don't know what the deal is, but my lead receiver fumbles more than anybody else on my team. It's like every week, it's like fumble. Like, dude, I am going to go in, and I adjusted my defense down to a more run-focused defense. I'm actually going to keep it at 40. It was at like 55, so not a whole lot, but we were giving up way too many rushing yards the last couple of games to teams that were pretty even. Definitely looking forward to it. We have Eastern Michigan this week, Wyoming and Hawaii, Army and Old Dominion, UConn and number 15 ranked Temple, Charlotte and Rice. That should be a heck of a game. Rice has been dominating teams. ECU and UCF, and then Rice and Charlotte. We have Eastern Michigan. We are projected to win this one yet again. We need to win. They're on the other side of our conference, so we need to make sure we get the W's. Ohio was the only team we needed to worry about on our side, and it's going to suck if we don't make the conference championship. We got this team beat in almost every category except for rush offense and pass defense. All right, just getting done with the advance. We're in week 14 now. Played Buffalo. I think we lost. We're 7-4. We might have won. Let's see what happened. Army ends up dropping to Old Dominion. They got shut out the third quarter, and that was a deciding factor. It was a pretty good game until then. It was a back and forth. They scored, we scored, they scored, we scored type situation. Looking at the stats, not able to get the first downs. Pretty even total offense wise. I mean, 40 yards is difference, which was the passing game. They just threw a little bit more over Old Dominion. Not able to convert on third down hurts. But we ended up winning at 35-14. Huge fourth quarter, or second and fourth quarter from us to help solidify the win. Looking at the stats, we didn't get a lot of first downs, but we got a lot of yards. 460 yards total offense, 11 rushes for 62 yards. Not good compared to their 48 rushes for 179. Golly. But we threw the ball really well. 22 for 43, 398 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 6 for 11 on third down, over 50%. That's what I like to see. But the defense forced 22 third downs. They converted on 10 of them. They went for it on fourth down 4 times, converted it 3 times, and got a 2-point conversion. But we did hold them strong 1 time in the red zone. The ranked Temple team ends up shutting out UConn this week, 29-3. They held them pretty good. A couple of field goals in the second, and then only 1 touchdown in the second half. But just not able to get on the board themselves. Taking a look at the stats, only 13 first downs, only 177 yards of offense, with most of that coming on the ground. 29 attempts for 117. Their defense did not shut them down. Running the ball, 56 attempts, 227 yards, and they were ahead most of the game. Not able to convert on third down or fourth down or in the red zone. 100% cost this team, especially the 2 interceptions. Not a good day for UConn against this ranked Temple opponent. ECU ends up winning the rivalry game against UCF with a humongous third quarter. 31 points, dude. It was a close first quarter, looked pretty good, and then they took a lead with a 3-point lead going to that half, and then just bam, dude, Explosion City. My goodness. Taking a look at the stats, 21 first downs, 517 yards of offense, 38 rushes for 141, 2 touchdowns, 24 for 45, 4 touchdowns, 376 yards, converted a lot on third down, and their defense held strong, keeping UCF to only 4 for 13 on third down. Wyoming comes out and gets a win over Hawaii. It was pretty much over after the third. They tried to score again in the fourth, but it was pretty much garbage time points right there. It was already over. Taking a look at the stats, Wyoming 21 first downs, 345 total offense, 50 rushes for 206 yards, 13 for 22 for 139 and 2 touchdowns. Converted pretty solid on third down, not quite over 50%, but hey, enough to get the win. 100% in the red zone. Even though they had the 2 turnovers, they forced 2 to end it at a 0. It was pretty even. Rice takes out Charlotte. Rice is on a tear, man. He's got the best record out of all the users pretty handily. Me and him were even for a little bit, but he's looking to solidify himself as the top user team in the Sim Dynasty. 22 first downs, 307 yards total offense compared to Charlotte's 272. 49 rushes for 209 yards. Charlotte 29 for 116. Rice 10 for 26 throwing the ball, no touchdowns, under 100 yards, but he didn't need to. He's a run-heavy team, where Charlotte needed to catch up a little bit. 15 for 28, 156 and a touchdown. Both did okay on fourth down, about 40%. Both did the exact same on fourth down. My bad, third down. On fourth down, and then both were horrible in the red zone. And 1 for 2 for Charlotte and 4 for 7 for Rice. Taking a look at the conference standings, we are currently up on top. We need to win our last game this week against Buffalo. Ohio is our only loss in our division, so I'm not sure how that's going to play out for us. Hopefully we still get to play for the conference title against Toledo currently. Toledo, Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois already beat the crap out of us this year, so we'll definitely see there. Over at the Mountain West, Wyoming fighting to try to make it. Air Force is undefeated though, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to knock them off enough to get there, especially with 1 game left. But Wyoming sitting number 3 with San Diego State on the other side as the team in charge. Now for the American, Temple leading the way. They're undefeated and ranked, so it makes sense with Connecticut coming in at number 3 and then ECU at number 5 in the East. Over on the west side, Houston, who was also ranked, only lost 1 game, number 8 in the nation, leading the way on the west side. Over in Conference USA, Marshall is taking the cake on the East, with Charlotte sitting at number 4. And on the west side, Rice, of course, dominating fashion on top of the west side. Independence Army, he's faring pretty good. He's about the same as BYU and Notre Dame, so that's a pretty daggum looking stat line if you ask me. 6-4 overall, not bad. Just taking a quick little look at the Heisman Watch for those that are interested. Armstrong looking to take it with JT Barrett not too far behind him, Pumphrey, and then Hurd and Mayfield. Looking at the championship contenders, if you're curious for the top 10, UCLA, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Stanford, Texas, Clemson, Houston, Michigan, and LSU. Rice is the first user team ranked at number 40. Army coming in at 55, Wyoming 59, myself at 68, ECU at 81, Charlotte at 99, and Connecticut at 104. Taking a quick little run down through their bowl projections as of right now, because next episode will include all of the final week 13 results, so week 13, week 14, week 15, conference championship week, and let's see, myself and Army in the Military Bowl. That's a user versus user matchup there. Mid-Tennessee State and Wyoming in the Armed Forces Bowl, Rice and Auburn in the Liberty Bowl, and that's it. Checking out job security. We're just peeking at users only. Currently, everybody is still safe regardless of what their overall record is. So this week, I got Buffalo, Wyoming, and Southern Utah State. Utah State. I was like, why Southern? Utah State. There we go. Army, Hawaii, UConn, ECU, and a user versus user matchup. Charlotte, Old Dominion, ECU, UConn, and then Rice, Western Kentucky. Taking a look at the recruiting one last time this episode. We'll probably do it at the front and end. Probably won't do it from here on out unless I get some more recruits, just because we're at the end of the season. But Dixon, we're trying to get him to commit. San Diego just had a huge visit, and they got the bonus. So maybe not. Yeah, I'm actually able to put points on this dude again. Super frustrating. I lost out on the points, and they had a visit, so that sucked horribly. But it is what it is. About to get this wide receiver. We got a pretty stacked team, man. I'm looking forward to what we could do next year. Our defense is huge, man. Middle defense, outside defense. And then our offense looks pretty good. New tight end, new guard, and then new wide receiver. Right, could probably play anywhere, offense or defense. So we have definitely improved our team drastically. But we have Buffalo this week. We are a dominating team, man. They are a pretty good run team, which or not pretty good. They're a better pass team, but they're a better run team than we are, since we're almost last. But that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. We're going to advance into next week, and we'll see you guys next time.